and welcome. My name is Dr. Bhavna Pathak. I'm a hematologist-oncologist and the medical director of integrative oncology here at MemorialCare. I'm so pleased to bring you the Let's Nourish Ourselves module, an attempt to integrate our mind, body, and spirit as we go through the journey of cancer. Today, I'm joined by one of our fabulous dietitians, Hannah Gross. Hannah, welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Pathak. My name is Hannah. I am a registered dietitian with Saddleback MemorialCare, and I'm so excited to be a part of this project.
No, thank you. This is a labor of love that you guys have devoted yourself to, and hopefully this will provide really digestible, tangible bits of information that our patients, their loved ones, and even providers can take with them. Today's topic is going to be on grocery shopping, which I think is really the best topic because it's about putting these principles of nutrition into action. It can sometimes feel very overwhelming to be, basically lectured like you should eat better with people wagging their fingers when really sometimes it's that simple as taking the step to follow a list, what to put on your list when going to the grocery store. While this is in no way medical advice, it is advice you can take as you enter your local grocery store. So tell us a little bit about this. What advice might you give to somebody who's going through cancer treatment, who's too tired to think about meal prep, and it can just feel very overwhelming? What would you suggest to our patients?
I'd say the best piece of advice would be to keep it simple and try to plan ahead. So when you're planning meals, focusing on simple, nutritious meals, things that you know are going to be appetizing to you, sticking to foods that are familiar to you, and just sticking to recipes and meal prep that's going to be just as simplified as possible. There's certain dishes that can be made ahead of time and frozen. So, soups and casseroles, you can make those in larger batches and then store them in the freezer to easily have on hand later. And then also keeping your pantry stocked with certain basics. It's going to be really helpful to have certain items on hand. Also keeping in mind to take advantage of days when you know that you're going to likely be feeling your best and using those days to try to do some food preparation there. So for example, if you know that after treatment you're not going to be feeling too well, try to plan ahead and maybe have some things ready to go before then.
Okay, great. So what I'm hearing is that really just keep it simple, or keep it simple, silly, right? So just knowing what resonates with you, what's easy to prepare, and then kind of rationing your time accordingly, even with the help of a loved one, with these soups and casseroles, for instance. I've heard of patients doing that while going through therapy and it being a lifesaver for them, especially if you have a family or children at home. Now, something I didn't mention is that Hannah is actually an instructor at a local college in food sustainability, and so this is a really hot topic, very pertinent. Can you tell us more about that and any tips to patients and family members while they're at the actual grocery store?
Sure. And yeah, I do. I teach at a local college a course on food sustainability and just talking with students on how to be a responsible consumer and, again, planning ahead for a lot of things and helping to reduce food insecurity and food waste and things like that. In regards to grocery shopping tips, something that's going to be really helpful is to keep your pantry stocked with certain items, things that are going to be great to have on hand. So for example, extra virgin olive oil is something that's really good to have on hand because it adds great flavor to foods, and it also adds extra calories, which is something that's going to be very important. So that's a win-win. Things like dried herbs and spices also will add great flavor to foods. Basic baking supplies such as whole wheat flour, regular flour, baking soda, baking powder. These can be used to make things such as muffins and pancakes. Again, things that are easy to have on hand later. Things like nuts, nut butters, and seeds are great staples to have around. These can make a great snack. They are also a way to add extra calories. For example, adding some peanut butter onto your toast is a great way to add some extra calories and some protein into your day. Legumes are important to keep on hand. So certain canned beans and lentils are a great source of fiber and protein. Frozen fruits and vegetables such as berries, mango, peaches, peas, lima beans. These will make food preparation easier. and are also very nutritious for adding into things such as smoothies and things like that. And then some useful fridge items would be things like tofu, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese. These are all things that provide protein and are easy to kind of grab and snack on. Mm-hmm. And then some other good fridge pantry items, some fridge staples would be things such as lemons, fresh herbs, ginger. So these things can add flavor to food. And lemon and ginger are also very useful for minimizing nausea or GI upset if this is something that you might be experiencing. When at the grocery store, you'll also want to get into the habit of reading food labels in order to make more informed choices. So get in the habit of looking at the nutrition facts label on the back of the package and kind of seeing how many calories does this provide, how many grams of protein per serving, and then you can kind of compare different items and see, which one is going to be providing more calories and protein, and choosing that item in order to get more nutritious foods.
Great. I love the visual you're giving us, Hannah, about keeping your pantry and fridge stocked just as you would a medicine cabinet. As we discussed in our earlier modules, food as a medicine, right? Just being aware of what you can use in different circumstances and different times of your treatment and beyond, and reading the labels just as you would read a pill bottle for the instructions on when to eat it. It's nice to be able to literally digest the information about what macronutrients, how is it serving you, and then maybe comparing it to an alternative product and making the smart choice for you. Yeah. So to that end, that's we're talking about cooking at home, and oftentimes eating out is a lot easier, but sometimes less nutritious and can put a toll on your wallet as well. It can be expensive. So what would you suggest to somebody who wants to cook at home, and how to make that easier and more appealing?
Yeah. So a good goal is to aim to cook at least 3 meals at home per week if you can. And when doing so, kind of like I had mentioned earlier, sticking to recipes that are going to be simple and involve foods that you're familiar with, that will be appetizing to you. Trying to choose foods that have a variety of colors, because these different variety of colored foods from plants, such as fruits and vegetables, these have a whole array of different antioxidants that are going to be very beneficial to you, as well as vitamins, minerals, fiber. So you'll want to try to get some variety of plant foods in your diet. And then choosing some plant-based protein sources can be really helpful as well. So these you can get from legumes such as beans, peas, lentils, tofu, tempeh, edamame, nuts and seeds. These are all plant-based sources of protein. Mm-hmm. And then getting in the habit of filling at least 2/3 of your plate with these plant-based foods, because again, they're going to have lots of antioxidants that are going to be immunoprotective, which means that they can help to boost your immunity and your immune system. They can provide vitamins and minerals and lots of fiber as well. When it comes to your grains, aiming to make at least half of your grains whole. So whether this is brown rice or maybe a pasta alternative that's made from some kind of bean or legume. This is going to have extra protein and fiber. There's a lot of websites online that have some great resources, specifically for people with cancer, just to play around with different recipes and try different things.
Awesome, that's great. So I love the sort of simplicity of what you're sharing, that, pick something or pick recipes that are familiar to you, that are simple, maybe something you grew up eating at home. You don't have to be Julia Childs in the kitchen. And then remembering certain principles, like trying to eat more plant-centered diets, whole grain foods, and that it's also possible to educate yourself even if you did not grow up eating those foods. There's so many resources online that allow us to learn. What about patients who are just too tired to cook at home, but don't want to go out? Can you tell us a little bit more about some pre-made options?
Sure. Yeah. So this is a great option for those who do want to eat at home, but just don't feel up to cooking or doing food prep. There are some delivery service meal kits and different meal options that are available. So there are some that include recipes where you do some food prep, but it's more, more minimal, and all the ingredients and everything needed is sent directly to you. And then there are some that are available where the meals are already completely made and sent to you that way. So there's a few different ones out there. You may have heard of, like HelloFresh, Blue Apron, Plated, things like that. Additionally, there are nutrition supplements that can be added to your day to give an extra boost of calories and protein. So these can come in the form of pre-made supplements, things like Boost, Ensure, Premier, and these are already pre-made. They are just ready to go, just to kind of grab and have some extra calories and protein. Or nutrition shakes can be made at home with a protein powder of your choice. And then there are also some grocery delivery services available. If someone is feeling like they do want to cook at home, but they don't have the means, or they're not feeling up to going to the grocery store, like Vaughn's Grocery Delivery is available, Orange County Grocery Delivery, and this way the groceries can be delivered just right to your door.
Great. Thank you so much for highlighting those available services, whether it's a meal kit delivery or grocery delivery, or even those ready-made nutrition supplements you can find at the store. That's wonderful, just a wonderful option for patients. So I'd love for us to end with a reminder to our patients to nourish ourselves. Hannah, would you like to do the honors?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's nourish ourselves.